Hey guys, Josiah here with Aesthetyx Fitness. In today's video, I'm going to be definitively answering the question of which is better, high weight, low rep, or low weight, high rep. Alright, before I get started with today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and click that little bell icon. That way every time I come out with a new video, you guys are getting notified and not missing out on any great new content. Also, if you feel like it really helps me out if you smash that like button down below as well. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. Alright, so this is a debate that's been going on forever, and there have been a lot of studies done on this topic, and that is the topic of what is the ideal rep range for, building strength, for building muscle, for muscle hypertrophy, or for building endurance. A lot of people will say that if you want to build strength, you gotta be working with really heavy weights in low reps, in that 1 to 5 rep per set range. And then if you want to really build some size, you gotta be working with a higher rep range because that puts on muscle but doesn't really affect your strength in that like 8 to 15 rep range. And then anything over about 20 reps is useless unless you're just trying to be an endurance athlete and really, get good at endurance but aren't trying to build much muscle. Now in today's video, I'm going to be tackling this debate with actual science and studies, backing it up and showing you what the truth is about rep range versus muscle/strength building potential. And the first study or studies that I'm going to cite is by Stuart Phillips, who is a kinesiology professor at McMaster University in Canada, and he did multiple different studies about this topic of rep range versus the effect it has on your strength, musculature, and endurance, and he did 2 different studies that I want to talk about. The first one was using untrained individuals, people who weren't avid weightlifters who hadn't had a lot of training experience. In this case, those individuals made equal strength and hypertrophy gains with both a low rep high weight scheme and a high rep low weight scheme. The scientific reasoning behind this is actually fairly simple. If you are a novice lifter, someone who's just getting into weightlifting, basically anything you do is going to be new stimulus, new stress on your body, and regardless of the program you follow, as long as you stick with it, you are going to make gains and you're going to make them very quickly. So the actual specific rep and set ranges that you're doing are much less important than it will become later on in your lifting career, and that's where we go next. Because the other study he did dealt with individuals who have been lifting weights for over 4 years, and in this case, over a 12-week period, those who were using the high weight, low rep scheme actually gained a pound more muscle than those who were using the low weight, high rep scheme. So their hypertrophy gains were greater. However, in this case again, this study showed that the 2 groups were actually the same when it came to the amount of overall strength gained in their exercises. And this gets more interesting when you look at a study by Campos et al. That showed that rep ranges in the 3 to 5 rep range and 9 to 11 rep range produced the same gains in hypertrophy amongst experienced lifters, but that strength was greater improved in the 3 to 5 rep range, and that if you're dealing with rep ranges of 20 or more reps, there is absolutely no hypertrophic effect at all. Basically meaning that according to this study, if you are an experienced lifter and you're working in that like 20 to 30 to 40 rep per set range, your weights lifted are going to be so low that you may see some endurance gains, but you're not actually going to build any muscular size from those exercises. And the results of the study are backed up by a study by Brad Schoenfeld that showed that rep ranges of the 2 to 4 rep range increased strength gains faster than those in the 8 to 12 rep range. Even though again in that study between those 2 rep ranges they showed equal amounts of hypertrophy for those rep ranges. Now I will say a slight caveat is there are other studies that have shown indications that perhaps even higher rep ranges can be sufficient for building muscular size, although across the board you will see that that is not the most ideal way to increase size. There are, however, more consistent metrics that show that once you're getting into that 40 to 50 rep range, you are really, really severely limiting both your strength and muscle size increases with those exercises. Now with that being said, there is also another very important portion of this research that may actually be more important than anything I just told you, and that is that training to failure, or at least very close to it, is going to make a big difference when it comes to your progress in the gym. The research shows the groups that trained to failure, or at least very close to it, made much, much greater strength and hypertrophy gains than those who were basically sitting at a comfortable level when training. Meaning that if your maximum set of an exercise is 10 reps, you should not be able to do an 11th rep at the end of that. You shouldn't just call it quit at 10 reps because that's what you said you were going to do. One last interesting point is the effect that the number of sets you perform has on your results as well. The research further shows that the greater number of sets you perform, within reason obviously, the better your progress in the gym is going to be regardless of your rep range. So basically, if you think about it, the ideal way to train would be to train with heavier weights in a mid to low rep range so that you get a lot of strength and hypertrophy gains, and tack on a couple extra sets so that you're getting that overall volume in the gym that's going to help really boost your progress. Obviously, you should train in a rep range and weight that you can handle and manage safely and that you can keep good form with so that you're not injuring yourself. Now guys, with that all being said, that is it for today's video. Hopefully you found it entertaining and informative. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you did, and leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's video and topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. And make sure to subscribe to this channel so that every time I come out with a new video, you guys get notified so that I can continue helping you guys to train smarter and look better.